Hey, what's up guys? After all of these holiday films are finally just flooding in and coming out with one, so I'm finally back for another review. This week for Peter Jackson's produced Mortal Engines. So this film is directed by a man named Christian Rivers, and for those not familiar, he's been working with Peter Jackson for years on all of his movies, doing storyboarding, visual effects, all this stuff. But this time, Peter Jackson kind of took a little bit of a backseat, produced it, wrote some of the screenplay, and he just let Christian direct. So in a nutshell, this movie takes place thousands of years in the future in a post-apocalyptic world. Basically what happened is a while ago there was this event called the 60-Minute War. Basically this war was so cataclysmic that they wiped out all of these different civilizations, and everyone who was left formed what's called predator cities. Predator cities are these giant cities that took what was left of their original city from the cataclysmic war and basically put it on wheels. There's predator cities, there's smaller cities, and everyone's just hunting for the same thing: resources. Shortly into the film, and as shown in the previews, we find out that the leader of London's predator city, Thaddeus Valentine, is doing a lot of things behind closed doors that a lot of other people don't know about. So anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge Peter Jackson fan, all the way back to The Frighteners, Bad Taste, Dead Alive. Huge fan of Lord of the Rings, King Kong, all the Hobbit films, so I had high expectations going into this. The one thing I was worried about is a lot of the main plot is given away in the trailers, and I was just looking at it like, this plot seems pretty simplistic and familiar. So going in and having those thoughts, I wasn't really expecting too much out of the plot, and I didn't really get too much out of it. It was simplistic and familiar. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I really didn't recognize any of the cast from any previous films or TV shows. The only one that I saw before was Hugo Weaving, and his performance didn't really stand out too much. I mean, we've seen this same villainous presence from Hugo Weaving before and done better. The actor who played Hester Shaw did a really good job. It was neat to see her mysterious backstory kind of unfold throughout the film. And the actor who played Tom Natsworthy in the film did a really good job. He's kind of this lower class historian, and when him and Hester Shaw's character meet up, their character arc is probably the strongest one in the entire film. There's this one character in the film, and he was a supporting character throughout, and in the third act he just disappears. I'm guessing in true Peter Jackson fashion they're going to make an extended version of this. They did it with King Kong, they did it with The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, so I guess it's inevitable. And to my surprise, I didn't really know this actor was in this until the end credits rolled, but Stephen Lang is in this film, and he plays a character by the name of Shrike. And when they start to detail Shrike and Hester Shaw's backstory in this film, holy crap, it is probably one of the most interesting arcs in the entire film. I'm happy to report that the visual effects were amazing. It's just crazy to see all these huge predator cities, and kind of when they hear someone else coming that's going to chase after them, they kind of transform and everything just reverts back to the way it was and it goes into mobile mode. And it's funny to see this in Hollywood, but a movie like this with just around a budget of $100 million, the special effects in this are way better than stuff we've seen in Justice League or a lot of superhero movies out there. Junkie XL, who's previously worked on Batman vs. Superman, Tomb Raider, did the soundtrack for this film, and let me tell you guys, it was really well done. Especially when there's a lot of action going on, or there's just a high-paced chase scene between two predator cities. This soundtrack really supplements the film. One thing Peter Jackson and his crew are really good at is world building. King Kong, Tintin, The Hobbit. All of these movies just have a great atmospheric presence, and this world is just completely immersive. And the world of Mortal Engines, just like all the other worlds he's previously adapted or created, is nothing short of amazing. So I touched upon this a little bit earlier, and I wanted to talk about the plot in this film because the plot is just very simplistic, very familiar, and if I had to really compare it to another film out there, it would probably be Tron Legacy. I personally love Tron Legacy. The setting was really good, the acting was fantastic, and a lot of the special effects were really cool to see. But just like the Mortal Engines, the plot is very basic and just predictable. After seeing the trailers and watching some of the characters in there, I'm like, okay, I haven't seen that character yet. Oh, okay, this plot point happened. I'm guessing that character's gonna come in, and now. I was right. Me and my friend were talking just a little bit in the film, and we must have called about 3 or 4 plot points before they even happened. So being a huge Peter Jackson fan, I probably enjoyed this film more than others did. I would love to see another installment in this franchise, but with all these other big Hollywood blockbusters coming out, and the way the box office for this movie is tracking, I don't think that's going to happen. Guys, in the end, this movie was a fun time. I didn't really read the book that this movie was based off of, but it's probably one of the better book adaptations that I've seen. For the most part, the acting was good, the special effects were fantastic, and just the world in this movie was crazy. The plot in this movie, not so much. Very simplistic and predictable, but either way, guys, check this out. 7 out of 10.